day filled with some hope and some optimism and possible direction forward for some of the things I've been mentioning in the first 8 episodes of this season, where I've had autonomic dysfunction or dysregulation. And actually I've had a number of symptoms I've been experiencing for about 14 months and have been through a litany of tests and a lot of mental gymnastics about trying to figure that out. Again, many of the things that I have been experiencing, many of the symptoms, I certainly have not been my best, but it wasn't enough to have me mostly living how I want to live most days. But there was impact on my work, there was impact on my creativity, there was impact on the workouts, my sleep, relationships. So again, I've still been able to travel, work, exercise to some capacity, but not feeling how I want to feel. So that's what I've been dealing with. And honestly, one of the reasons why I'm doing this season 1 is another effort, another thing I can try to really help focus on my health to get past that. So it's actually one of the reasons, again, why I'm recording this video tonight in general. So as I'll get into in a few minutes, there were definitely times where I was wondering if it was all in my head. I know that there are medical professionals I'd work with who thought maybe the symptoms I'm experiencing systemically throughout my body were related to anxiety. We talked through that a little bit, but bottom line, I think we have hopefully some evidence that there's something going on actually in my gut that is impacting potentially causing a lot of the symptoms that I've been experiencing. So we will get into that next week in more detail, hopefully, as I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow to fully review my results. But the purpose of this video will be to kind of recap some of the things that I honestly will very, very transparently share that I've been struggling with, mostly to kind of just give birth to it and close that freaking door on it, and hopefully move forward with a solid plan of action here tomorrow after I meet my physician. And also, I just want to kind of share some takeaways that I would have to help you through a long medical problem or uncertainty where you don't have the answers you want to get in the timeliness that you want. And maybe you'll be experiencing some mental gymnastics like I have too, just where you've potentially spent a lot of money, you've spent a lot of time thinking and overthinking, just really concerned for your immediate safety, your long-term vitality. And so that's what I want to talk about in this video today. All right, so I'm going to get kind of vulnerable here and kind of share some of the things that I've went through and have been just trying to figure out what has been going on these last 14 months. First off, I certainly want to say that I still feel very blessed and that the life that I've been able to live, there are people who on a daily, hourly basis are facing painful, debilitating conditions and illnesses, and I'm in no way degrading or minimizing that at all. But for me, this has been something I've been working through, and it's taken a financial and a mental toll that I'm just ready to move on from. And if anything, another reason I'm sharing this is that hopefully you can see that you always should have agency over your health and be very involved in your health. And when you don't feel right, and to keep showing up for yourself and to deny your helplessness is critical. It's not your physicians, all the physicians that you may work with, it's not their job to keep checking after you. You got to lead the charge to figure out what the hell is going on if there's something that's not right, and try to do that in a way that doesn't drive you crazy. So that's been tough sometimes, just the mental toll I know this has kind of taken on me, and not to mention the creative toll and sometimes me bringing in patients to my family, to my work. So again, I just want to run through some of the things that I have experienced and trying to get to the bottom of this, and why I am hopefully very optimistic that starting tomorrow that I'll have a clear path forward, which I haven't had in 14 months. So this is in the last 14 months. I'm just going to list off the things that I have had done just to try to figure out what the hell is going on. So, and just other experiences. So I've had 2 ER visits in December of 24 and August of 25. 3 urgent care plus visits, which we had a regional one in Springfield, which is like one of the first in the region. They actually have like CT scans and all that stuff. It's like above prompt care, but below ER. So I went there 3 times, got to know Dr. Ferguson pretty well. Saw her in March, May, and July of 2025. 2 prompt care visits in December of 2024 and January of 2025. 4 or 5, at least probably, primary care visits. Peace out, peace, Dr. Albrock. I haven't seen you in a while, but we saw each other a lot last year. Colonoscopy, which I was due for anyhow, had that in July. Established with the cardiologist in April of 25 and I had a repeat visit there in July. So April and July. had an echocardiogram in May of 2025, a nuclear stress test in April of 2025, a CT coronary angiogram in September of 2025, a CT of my chest in March of 25, a CT of my abdomen in May of 25, 2 x-rays, Function Health lab membership in April that I started that also had more labs drawn in October of last year. I had an autoimmune panel that I paid for in addition to that in October of 25, the Gallery cancer screening test in October of 2025, VO2 max testing in December of 2025, a lymphatic massage and castor oil packs in November of 2025, acupuncture and accugraph assessment in November of 2025, cardiac coherence training where you kind of learn how to breathe and see your heart, how you can impact your heart rate variability. That was in November of 2025. November of 2025, a full body Pronovo MRI that I paid for out of pocket in September of 2025. And I paid for a concierge medical clinic and vitality services here in the St. Louis area in October for 12 months, prepaid for the full 12 months. And lastly, just have my gut zoomer test in January of 2025. So that was a lot. And all of them, I think, played a role. I think I'm happy that I did them. Some of them were my own doing, showing up to prompt care thinking what the hell's going on, or to the ER. But bottom line, it's really weird. It's in a weird mindset to where I didn't feel right. And I'm going into an MRI saying, honestly, like, please find something. Like, I just need a freaking answer. Or going to get a CT and say, please just tell me something's there. But I also didn't want something to be there because I didn't want to have a serious illness to be dealing with. But it's just weird how your mind, like, what do you want when you go into some of these advanced tests that potentially could find something that's, doesn't have a good prognosis or is going to require a long road. That I would definitely go on a long road if that's what it takes. But it just was a weird spot. So that was, the toll of all that. That's why I'm excited about hopefully moving forward with the results I got today, and that I'll be able to speak to and learn about more tomorrow with my doctor. So I guess the plus of having all those assessments and tests run is that I now have a very thorough cardiology workup. And honestly, that was one of the things that was most concerning to me, where I thought in my 40s, 50s, 60s, I was going to be spending my primary focus on my health. If I could stay lean and stay strong and be active, was just managing my cardiovascular risk factors, managing my metabolic health. So, now knowing that I've had a CT coronary angiogram and knowing that what my vessels look like, and me being on an appropriate medication and supplement plan, I feel really good about that. I feel really good about my metabolic health, and it was encouraging and give me peace of mind knowing that my my full body MRI was clean. So there's been a lot of things that I did gain insights from, but still was like, why the hell am I feeling this way? So I guess that's one part of it that's a plus. But as far as the other side, there's a mental toll that I was going through as well. And that's one where, there were some songs I would listen to that would make me emotional. I mean, I couldn't listen to like Fix You by Coldplay without like bawling, like thinking of songs that like I've listened to with my wife or my kids, growing up, and that would make me like emotional. I was like, if I was wondering, am I really sick? Do I have something terminal we just can't find? And that was kind of before I had done like the MRI and some of the more advanced cardiology workup. So, I mean, I was just putting it all out there, full transparency. Like I was mowing one day and I was thinking like that, am I going to have to talk to my younger brother about walking my daughter down the aisle? There's times when I was preparing to move and I was like, let's just get through this so that we can get our house sold. That can be behind us. So we can get all of our stuff sold and my wife can be at a nice place in St. Louis. I spent a lot of time like being like pissed that maybe I'm not going to be able to see my son continue to develop into the force that he is and is going to continue to become. And the same with my daughter, both of them I'm super proud of. So it's just like those type of things, like that's kind of where my mind was going in a very safe way, not unsafe, but just it was frustrating. So that's what I'm just, trying to overcome. And honestly, I appreciate you. If you're watching this, I just need to talk about this, get it out there and just, again, close this chapter. But all right, I've already talked way more about me in this video than I really wanted to, but hopefully I'm going to be turning here to the point where there's some lessons you can take from this and some things that I had written down and just kind of thinking through, like, what have I learned this last 14 months. If there's somebody that's going through something that's frustrating, that's taking longer than they want, where they don't feel well, what are some things that they can do? And that's what I want to really focus on for the rest of the video. Number one is you just have to make the decision that you will not stop until you figure out what the hell's going on. And so I've already talked about that earlier, but you got to have, you're in charge. You have to be advocating for yourself and deny your helplessness, and to know that you're going to do what it takes with your medical professionals, with people in your life that can help you to get to where you want to be. And that is exactly where I am. I am on the path to figure that out. And then since I've invested a lot of time and dollars and other people's time, then I owe it to them and myself to follow through with exactly what my plan will be when I get to the prescriptive steps to take to heal. So that's number one. Number two, you've got to make the decision that and continue to connect with the fact that there is a bad mofo somewhere in your body that wants to come out. And I know that is the case for me. I was hoping it was going to happen in these 12 weeks and I could be like flexing and rip my shirt off at the Spartan race. That's where I thought was going to happen. But body's not cooperating as much as I wanted it to. But that doesn't mean that I stop. So no one's going to tell me any differently than that's what's going to happen. That is going to happen. My timeline wasn't the timeline that God or whoever else that may be, had for me. So that's number two. Number three, I've already talked about, I guess, being an advocate for your health. Books, podcasts, audiobooks, music, whatever it is that can keep you right upstairs, you got to do. Even if it's like, I do listen, I've read a little bit more this last few months, and some like fun reading, fiction reading, but I have dove back into some books, and I've listened to a lot of content in the car, a lot of audiobooks, and honestly, even just music. If there's some music that fires you up when you need it, like I was at the gym yesterday walking, because that's what I can do right now. And a Nipsey Hussle, Grinding All My Life came on, and I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm gonna walk like a freaking champ right now. And I was like, just felt stronger, felt good, felt inspired. So whatever it is, that's important. Fuel your mind. Again, get some music in there that gets you rolling, and fill your mind with good, empowering books. Always recommend that. Set some goals that pull you forward, some immediate ones and some longer term ones. Set some goals that pull you forward. That is what this season was for me. I'm gonna set more goals. I have goals for the year and they'll pull me forward. So you've gotta have some direction and do what you can. That's another tip, is control what you can control. And then if there's something you are having success with, lean into it. That's me with walking, sleeping, and some of the food things I am doing better at as well. But I've not been able to crush exercise, intense exercise, weightlifting, endurance stuff. I haven't been able to do that. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to figure out when I can, and I will do that. But right now I'm focusing on the things that I can do, and I'm trying to do them well. Another tip, do something every day or most days. Like, that's why the walking and or the sleeping, if I can commit to doing those most days, the things that I can control well, then I'm doing those. But try not to take more than a couple days off where you don't do anything. Like, that's a recipe to get off track and stay off track. And then as far as if you have some health thing going on, I would encourage you to just spend some time documenting kind of what's going on, so that you can give the people that are trying to help you the information they need to kind of connect some dots. So empower them, equip them with information, equip yourself to connect some dots as well. So I would just don't try to remember everything, try to write things down when you're feeling a certain way, or if you make a connection, you can then pass on to your medical team. And then last but not least, don't be me as it relates to the number of Google searches and GPT chats you have about how you're feeling. Don't be me. That's been not good, especially several months ago. I don't even want to know my Google search term history, but that's something that I would not recommend, because then you're like, you think everything you feel is wrong. So anyhow, that's what I have for you for this episode. Just tried to lay some things out there and just tell my story a little bit, and so I can move past it. And again, wanted to conclude this with some things that hopefully you can take from it, besides just listening to me blabber for 15, 20 minutes. So I hope you check back next week so I can talk to you about my gut zoomer test and what the hell that is, and then what the results of that were, and then hopefully what my path forward is. So thanks so much for sticking with me on this video and for watching, and I hope to see you next week. If this approach resonates with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and follow along.